All right, so, and we're on our unit review. So we have done 5.3a, 5.3k, 5.3b, and now I would like you to move on to 5.3c. So on your next tab, you are labeling it 5.3c, which is to divide to find the quotient. Divide to find quotient, or the quotient, four digits by two digits. Okay? Divide to find the quotient, four digits by two digits. Same thing, you're going to flip this all the way up. We are going to be writing at the top, and then we'll be gluing on the bottom. All right, so if we flip that open, we're going to label this top long division, because that's what this really is. Long division. And then our hint is DMSB. And we all know that that stands for divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then you would start over. Okay? So this one's going to be a little bit tricky because we're going to have some steps over here and then the problem. So we're going to be kind of going back and forth. So just be patient on each step that we're doing. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I have in my notes. So I want you to write the steps over here. I want you to write questions. And then I want you to write the division problem or problem. All right, so step one, and I'm going to write in pencil just because, in case we make any mistakes, because this is kind of long and I don't want to make any mistakes on it. So step one, first I'm going to write my problem. My problem is 7,098, and I want to divide that by 13. Okay? You zoom that in a little bit so it's clear. All right, so 7,098. So step one is going to be to divide. So the question that I have to ask myself is, does 13 go into 7? Does 13 go into 7? The answer to that is no. So I need to move over. All right, I'm still dividing because I don't have another step yet. So now I have to ask myself, does 13 go into 70? Does 13 go into 70? That's a question. And yes, it does. Okay. So 13, I don't really know how many times it goes into 70, but I could do, well, 15, 30, 45, 60, and then it goes into 70. So if it was 15, it'd give me 75. So it's a little less than that. So let me try 5. And 5 times 13, I don't know that, but 5 times 3 is 15. Carry that 1 right here. And then 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 7. 6. My goodness. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay. So now what step did I just do? I multiplied. So step 2, I had to multiply. You are multiplying the part of your quotient right there times your divisor to get that number right here that you're going to what? So I had to do what? 5 times 7. So multiply 5 times 7 and that equals 65. Then my next step is going to be to subtract. What am I subtracting? Okay, I'm going to subtract right there. So I'm subtracting 70 minus 65. So 70 and then minus 65 is going to equal 5. So if I have $70 and I spend 65, I have 5 left. I could count up 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, or I could borrow. This becomes a 6. This brings over 10 of them. So 10 minus 5 is 5, and 6 minus 6 is 0. Okay, what's going to be my next step? I'm going to bring down the 9. So step 4, bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 9. So my arrow drops it down. Now I have 59. The next question, I am not done. After I bring down, I need to do another step, which is to repeat my steps. Step 5 is going to be repeat. So I got to go all the way back up here and start again. So does 13, I don't know what happened. Does 13 go into 59? So does 13 go into 59? That's my question. Yes, it does. How many times? Well, again, if it was 15, I could go 15, 30, 45, 60. So that would give me 4. So that's almost 15, and that's almost a 60. So I'm going to try 4 times. Okay, so now after I divide, I'm going to multiply. What am I multiplying? I'm multiplying this 4 times 13. So multiply multiply 4 times I just realized I wrote something wrong a while ago. 5 times, not 7. 5 times the 13 equals the 65. So correct that, okay? And then 70 minus the 65 is what I subtracted. Then I bring down the 9. Does 13 go into 59? Yes. And 4 times 13 equals, well, I don't know. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So 52. Then I'm going to subtract 59. So 9 minus 2 is going to give me 7. And 5 minus 5 is 0. So I have 7. So 4 times 13 give me 52. And then I'm going to subtract 59 minus the 52 equals the 7. Then I'm going to bring down the 8. Bring down the 8. And I have 78. So I've got to start. I brought down. Now I've got to repeat all the way back to divide. So 13 into, and I've already used that, 13 into 78. Does 13 go into 78? That's a question. So yes. So how many times? Well, again, if it was 15, I could count by 15s, right? 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. So 75, maybe one more. So let's try the 6. And 6 times 13, I don't know that. So I'm now going to multiply. So does 13 go into 78? How many times? I'm going to what? So 6 times 13. I'm going to come right over here. Six times 13 equals, well, 6 times 3 is 18, carry the 1. 6 times 1, 6 plus 1 is 7. So it equals 78. And then I'm going to subtract 78 minus 78 equals the 0. And I'm at the wall, guys. That wall we've been talking about. So my answer is 546. Okay. So again, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, repeat. And all I did is we talked through each step here. You don't need to do this on any question other than when we're learning it, okay? So really, you should have DMSB written, and you should be doing each step right here. So this was just to practice it, but when you do a division problem, I want DMSB written and then the problem. All right, so now you have at the very top, so move your paper up, you have that empty space, and you have 2 questions, same thing, where we are going to glue them in, and then we're going to write on them first, and then we'll glue them in. And these are division problems. So on this one, you need to move it up just a little bit because it doesn't have multiple choice. We're going to need some room underneath it to work. All right. And then my tape tore this paper just a little bit. It says, a water dispenser contains 512 fluid ounces of water. Okay. What is the total number of 8 fluid ounce cups of water that can be filled from the dispenser? So let's think about that. Well, if I'm going to rip that problem, let me come right over here and do rips on it. So really they're asking me, what is the total number of 8 fluid ounce cups? So if I fill up a cup that's 8 fluid ounces, how many can I fill up with that 512 ounces? So what are they asking me? How many 8-ounce cups can I fill? How many 8-ounce cups can I fill? Okay. Important information is I have a total of 512 ounces. Move this up just a little bit so you can see a little better. And then I want to know how many 8 fluid ounces I can get. And fluid ounces, guys, that's fluid ounces too. That's an L. Fluid ounces. That's like a drink. Okay. So the process is I'm going to divide. If I am splitting something up by the same number over and over, that's division. And I'm splitting it up by 8 ounces. So I'm going to put the total in the house as the dividend, divide by the divisor, the 8. I want to see how many times 8 will go into that. Okay. I'm going to write DMSB. So I remind myself that I am dividing, multiplying, subtracting, and bringing down. So 8 does not go into 5, but 8 goes into 51. I don't know. But if it was 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, it would go 5. So how many times do I think that'll go into it? Okay. So 8 times what gets me close to 51? Well, 8 times 6. 6 times 8 is 48. So I multiplied, subtract 51 minus 48. Well, 48, 49, 50, 51. So it leaves me 3. I could borrow, but it's still going to leave me 3. I can count up 48, 49, 50, 51. Or borrow. That 5 would become a 4. That would become 11. 11 minus 8 is 3. Now I need to bring down that 2. So I subtracted, now bring down. 8 goes into 32 4 times. 4 times 8 is 32. I subtract, and I have 0. So I can get 64 cups, okay? So look back over here, and my answer is G. I can make 64 8-ounce glasses out of that. All right, my next problem right here. Kathy is organizing the bottles of nail polish at a store. There are a total of 296 bottles. If Kathy puts the same number of bottles on each of 4 shelves. How many bottles are there on each shelf? Okay, well, I'm going to move this up so we can see it. I'm going to rip this, and the actual question is, how many bottles will be on each shelf? Well, I know I have 4 shelves, and I know I have 296 bottles. Okay, so how many bottles on each shelf? Okay, important information is that I have a total of 296, and I have 4 shelves. So to solve this, I'm going to divide. Okay, what am I splitting up? Am I splitting up the 4 shelves or the 296 bottles? So what I'm splitting goes inside. I'm splitting the 296 bottles. That's going to go inside the house. That's the dividend. Divide by 4. That's the divisor. 4, and then DMSB for divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. 4 doesn't go into 2, so I move on over. 4 goes into 29. Well, 4 times what is going to get me real close to 29 without going over? Okay, 4 times what? Well, I know 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times 7, 28. So 7. 7 times 4 is 28. I'm going to subtract 29 minus 28. It's going to leave me with 1, right? 28, 29. I can count up, or I can subtract. Drop down that 6. And 4 goes into 16 4 times, because I know 4 times 4 equals 16. I subtract and I have nothing. So I'm going to write, and this would have been a bubble answer choice. Guys, it's going to look something like this. It's going to have that decimal in the grid. Okay, here's what I need you to know. That this 74, if it does not have a decimal, the decimal's at the back. Therefore, it has to be written in front of the decimal and then bubbled correctly. Okay? It doesn't go back here. It doesn't go way over here. That is 4 1s and 7 10s. 74. 7 $10 bills, 4 $1 bills. 74. So make sure you're gridding that correctly on a bubble. All right. So at this point, you will glue those in just like that in your foldable, in your study foldable. And then you are going to go to the folder on the table and do your try me.